You are go for TLI, over. Apollo 11, thank you. Roger up.
Oh, hello there. I didn't see you guys. It's your boy Brandon Groce. You know, we're just chilling. Like I said earlier today, we have a very important mission. Well, not really a mission. We have a very important and awesome thing happening today. My boy Cody Brown decided finally. I don't know if you guys, a lot of you guys were like, oh, my man Cody. A lot of you guys are super excited about this. I've been super excited. There was multiple times where I've chatted my man. I was like, look, we can't not do something. And it's the stars aligned. Today's the day. So I'm super excited. I'm not going to steal any more thunder. So we're just going to go ahead and speed off into the office so we can get there for Cody. And let's talk to him. I'll see you guys there. Peace. All right, listen, look, I'm late. Cody, I know. Look, I'm here, guys. I'm here, and Cody is here.
Hey.
My man, how you doing?
Hey, you rolled up. How was the traffic on your way in, man?
There wasn't any. I teleported.
Oh, okay. Hey, you weren't speeding, were you?
I was speeding. I might have,
okay.
A couple rabbits can fly now. I'll put it that way. I'll just double think.
I won't tell anybody, so we're good.
Sweet. Man, I'm glad to have you. Thank you so much for giving us an hour of your amazing time. I know
of course
we have a short time today, and I don't want to monopolize your time, but I want, for the people who may not know you, even for those who do know you, I want you to, guys, if you guys have not seen Cody's work, I was supposed to show it a few seconds ago. I can't pull it up now. I can go back. But look, listen, we have the man here himself. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you've done in your journey as a designer, and what you're doing now and what we're going to do today?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for the introduction. That was really nice of you. I think you're talking me up too much a little bit. Yeah. So
please.
I had to wear the Aloha shirt because you got the fancy, mirror, tie, and everything going on. So I was like, I got to show up with my Aloha shirt today, so to fit right in. But yeah, so my name's Cody Brown. I'm a senior graphic designer out of San Diego. I currently work at a design consultancy in downtown San Diego named EFM, or Experiences for Mankind. We do a lot of retail design for mobile applications. We do a lot of website design and branding work. Just the whole gamut of things creative. So I've been working there a little bit over a year, close to 2 years now. And I've been designing for probably, 8 years now. Started in print like a lot of people, doing more like t-shirt designs and logos and business cards to kind of get my foot in the door. And then that slowly evolved as things went more digital. I'm sure you might have a similar background in that regard, but yeah, getting more into app design and website design and just really thinking digital and interactive that you see out there today. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun and I'm excited to kind of dive into some of that today with you.
Let's do it. Guys, he gave it the short lightning version. I promise you, check all the links down. Don't leave yet. You're going to see the magic here. But all my man's links are down in the description. He's got his YouTube, his Twitter, his Instagram, and his site as well. So I know he's being really humble today, but we're going to see the master at work. All right, so I'm gonna switch to our shared screen real quick. And so what are we taking a look at, my man?
Okay, yes. So for today, I wanted to kind of create a mobile app experience or mobile e-commerce experience, if you will, based on just I've been doing a lot of like surfing and skateboarding lately because of the whole pandemic. Just to kind of get out of the house, like waking up early, starting the day off right, get in the water, or even like during my lunch break, like cruising around my neighborhood. I have this little this is a globe skateboard here. So I've just
Lit.
been, kind of doing stuff to kind of keep my mind off everything and get step away from the computer a little bit. And with that, I thought it'd be kind of cool to kind of explore this like whole like surf shop, like a mobile surf shop, because I'm actually in the market for a new wetsuit because it's starting to get cold out. So I've been looking at a lot of like new wetsuits. This like beach soul one in particular. Let's see if you can zoom in here. I like this camo color. It's pretty sweet. It's like kind of army green. So
Yeah.
basically, I put together a mobile flow of maybe what a mobile e-commerce app or site would look like. And I'm calling it Kookville because I still consider myself a kook. I've been surfing probably like 4 years now, but I still have like a lot to learn. And surfing is one of those like ever changing things or ever changing sports where every day you go out, it's different. The water's gonna be different, the conditions are gonna be different, and you kind of have to adapt your surf style, I guess, to the different days. So, anyways, that's sort of the background behind it. Before I even like kind of got into that flow, we're gonna dive in more of that probably in a little bit. But I kind of just wanted to break down sort of my inspiration behind it.
And before we can't go any further. We have some questions. First off, what is a kook?
A kook is
You can't just say that and like leave it there and be like, we all know this.
yeah, a kook is basically sort of like a wannabe surfer, inexperienced kind of beginner surfer that a lot of times it's kind of like a derogatory toward just people that are trying to get into surfing. And I'm probably not a kook, but like I feel like I'm still learning every day, and I don't want to get in the way of the dudes that are out there like since they were like 8 years old surfing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's sort of just the fun title that I came up with for this. But yeah, I think surfing is actually really welcoming when you go up in San Diego. Like you can go to like a lot of spots that people are very conscientious of everybody in the water. So I think if you have, if you're just aware of everybody around you and you get people like turn to catch their waves, it's a pretty fun sport to get into. But yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
That's the name.
I had no idea that you were like heavily into this. I was like, that's interesting. We're getting into wetsuit land. We're getting into surfing. I had no idea that was a thing of yours. And we're about to get into exactly what you're about to throw down. I just want to give context and let everybody know who's watching. As Cody is breaking down his thought process, what went into this project, guys, feel free. We will take small pauses when we can, because I know it's 100% difficult to talk and go through shit at the same time. And so I don't want to put 100% of that burden on Cody. So please drop your questions in both the chat on whether you're on YouTube or on Behance. But we are primarily looking at, from my side, we'll try to look at both. But we're primarily on Behance right now. So just drop your questions. We'll keep them in the chat until we get a little break, and we'll answer them. All right, Cody, let's
feel free to chime in. Yeah, so just kind of going into typically when I start a project like this, this is just a fictitious project that I put together for the stream because I thought it'd be fun. I think that's a big thing that I like to do when I'm trying to come up with new ideas, especially with like XD. So many capabilities within the software that it's fun to test them and test these features by actually building out a little fun fake project to see how you can push those features. So in this case, I wanted to make sort of like like an e-commerce grid where you've got maybe like the wetsuit and skateboard. Maybe you could 3D rotate the objects, the products within XD. So these are just kind of rough sketches that I was kind of just going through on my iPad to kind of get some quick ideas down on paper. Nothing too concrete here, just kind of silly little sketches to get the creative juices flowing. I remember like going back to art school, like the teacher would always like request like 20 thumbnails before you even started anything. And I'm like, I used to hate that. It sucked, right? Because you're like, how am I supposed to come up with 20? I can come up with like 3 good ideas. But as time has gone on and I've worked more in this field, I think even if you're like drawing like chicken scratch and some ideas aren't going to stick, it's still good to kind of just get it on paper, because you never know if, like, say you and I were working on a project together, like you having a visual reference of how my mind works could help stimulate an idea for you. You know what I mean? So I think that it's just a good like habit to have, even if you don't actually go with this as a final approach. It's good to have that kind of initial phases. So I started there, and then I moved more into just like inspiration. So doing a lot of searching on Dribble and Pinterest and, you know, all the standard sites that we used to find legendary artwork and UI design. So I liked a lot of this sort of overlapping effect that I've been seeing a lot lately. It's definitely a trend right now. Coincidence that it says trending right there too.
What is the overlapping effect that you're talking about? What exactly?
You see how this this chair is coming out of the plane of
right. Yeah.
Have you seen that a little bit around on the interwebs these days?
Yeah, people are playing with that left and right. Yeah.
I think it's fun. I think when it's used sparingly, when it's not done everywhere, it's pretty cool. So I wanted to take a little bit of that. This guy's name is Alexei Savitsky. I'm probably butchering that. Another one by Fam Hewitt's. I can't say that. I'm terrible at pronouncing that, but I really love these soft drop shadows. And just, you know, it's very clean and elegant, and I really enjoyed that. So I wanted to use that as like another basis of inspiration. And I'm a big sucker for just like clean, minimal icons. I don't know about you, but you know, the less is more approach comes to mind with those, and I don't know, just to me, I gravitate towards it. And then just like I wanted to include a little bit of photography if we're talking about surfing. Like I felt like more black and white, kind of grainy would be kind of cool to kind of be a distinct look and feel for the brand. So that's kind of where I started. And then as far as color goes, I was actually at the coffee shop the other day, and my girlfriend and I bought some coffee, and I looked down at
fire coffee too.
Oh yeah, so
is that all coffee?
Well, so this is a matcha latte at the top left here, and this is like some sort of iced tea, like raspberry iced tea, I think. This is just water, but because of the color of the actual cup, it like created this like blue look. And then this is my coffee right here. It's like an iced coffee. But I really love those colors. Like it just so happened to like come together that way. And I'm like, I might use that for something. You know, like I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be for something. And so I remember when I was starting this project, I'm like, maybe I can use that as like a basis of my inspiration. So I took those colors and then sort of evolved them a little bit. But that's sort of the groundwork I did before I even got into UI design per se. So started there.
That was like, that's all like super creative. Like, I don't think I could ever be like, I'm walking down the street. Oh, there's some colors. Let me pull that into something I'm about to make tomorrow. Because if I did take that photo, it'd all be like doo-doo colors. I mean, I don't know. I don't have that skill of like I really rely on like colors, like Adobe color. I don't even know what it's called.
Coolers, Adobe Cooler.
Coolers. I really rely on color palettes.
I hear that. I mean, there's definitely times where I will source color palettes from other websites like that if I'm in a pinch. But when it's a little bit more expressive and creative and I have the time to kind of put something together, I try to lean on stuff like this if I can, but I'm not going to be, I'll be 100% real. It doesn't happen every time, you know? So this was just one of those lucky cases where I got to use it. But yeah, should we just hop into the flow of this e-commerce app?
Let's roll, my man. Let's get into artboard number 1. Bring us through how you decided to even, because we talked a little bit about like how you brought this stuff. I'm really interested. Like I don't ever do what you did, so I'm very like I probably already have more questions on that. That like is that how you typically start your projects? Because I just go in and work to see what doesn't work and throw it out. But it seems like you have a very good concept of this is my plan, and then we roll.
I think a lot of the times when I have that extra allotted time to put towards the ideation, the inspiration, the mood boards, I think it doesn't always make it in. Sometimes you got to go straight into design, and because I've been working in this field for quite some time, I can get versions out pretty quickly. get some concepts out pretty quickly. But part of me still kind of wishes that I had that little bit of extra time at the front of the project to explore more colors and test out some imagery. I just think it makes the project a little bit more like tight and solid, and you can kind of tell towards the end if that was done. Maybe not, maybe that's just me, but yeah. So in this case, I definitely had the time to do it, and I thought it'd be fun, especially to kind of walk through on this live stream with everybody. It's a good habit to build into your process if you can, because it's just going to make you more versed and well-rounded designer if you're thinking about the intention behind your designs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and preparing, I would assume, is really getting used to preparing like this.
For sure. And it just looks better when you're doing like a case study or a walkthrough. But anyways, so I'm just gonna start off on this screen right here. I made a little preloader for the experience. So this cool little like wavy animation happening, and then it kind of transitions into your main feed of products. So we've got our logo top left, we've got our shopping bag top right, very standard kind of e-commerce flow. And then we have our big titles here, so shop products. I added these like category tiles here that you could kind of drag through. So imagine you're on your mobile device, you can kind of use your thumb to kind of scroll through. And we have these fun icons that I think they just kind of help break up the space a little bit more, so it's not just fully all products. I think having a little bit of balance between our color palette that we developed and some cool iconography just makes it feel more like a fun brand that is, they care about the people that are interacting with their app. So plus I don't know, I love staring at cool icons like this, you know what I mean? But it's just expression of the brand.
Agreed with icons, because we gotta ask, because I'm like very much a cheater, and what I mean by that, let me just give context, is I like taking things that are already in existence, not things that you can't use commercially, but I liking to use things that you can buy to purposely use for commercial projects. Are you in because I know the thing is, I'm not a graphic designer, like Lord help me, or the universe help me in any case where I have to make something. I'm more so the puzzle piecer. So when you're doing stuff like this, I know we're going on a little bit of a tangent, but I get this question a lot. Are you for making your assets, or do you find yourself within your company outsourcing those sort of tasks or things of that nature?
That's a great question. I'm a little bit of a hybrid. So when I have the time, like in this project, I made these icons right here, these top ones. I didn't, however, make these bottom icons. For these bottom icons, I use this plugin called Icons for Design. I don't know if you can see it here in the top left. You can search things like, let's just say home. This is a free Adobe XD plugin, and you get an assortment of icons here. Some searches are going to have more than others. Like home has a decent amount. Let's see if I just do search. Yeah, so you get a good amount of like search magnifying glass icons. So you kind of have to go through and just see if they're going to match with yours. So like all these come in like strokes. So let's see if I just click on this one. Oh, this one doesn't have a stroke, but some of them are stroked icons, so you can change the stroke with. But these top ones I actually created in Illustrator and then just dragged them over here. But yeah.
Word.
So kind of just working ourselves down the page here. I thought it'd be kind of cool to have like a quick add button to cart or to bag.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog's chewing on a bone behind me. But if you click on this little, I'll get Cody on stream in a little bit. If I click on this plus button, we have this little animation that happens here and here. So you're actually getting this little plus icon turning into a check mark, while also simultaneously you're having this little kind of burnt orange circle growing into place, and then the bag itself filling to 100% black with that one item. So kind of a cool little, like, fun little delightful interaction that, when you click it, you see it happen. There's an action and a reaction, which I enjoy about a lot of apps. along with that, just, more drag features on the actual feature wetsuits. And then cruiser boards, like the one that I have. They're kind of like longboards, but they're a little bit shorter. So they're a little bit more, like portable. You can carry them around with you when you're going into like stores or coffee shops and things like that. So yeah,
you say this, but I can't even get 1 foot on there.
I'll let you borrow mine. I'll let you borrow mine, and I'll walk you through it. Man. It's easy.
Dear God, I just like a longboard just to stand on because I know I won't fall off, and like,
right.
Yeah, I've tried to get on skates or not. I can do skates. Those are the only things that move with wheels that I feel confident on. But boards, I don't know how you direct those things, man.
It's I think you could probably have it down in like a good month if you dedicated the time and you wanted to do it. I think in a good month you'd figure it out. But I guess I'm just lucky that like growing up as a kid in San Diego, that was just the thing you did. Like hanging by the beach. It was a quicker way to get from point A to point B than walking, right? So
True.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. We'll get you on the board. We'll get you on the board.
And died. This is the last live stream, guys.
Right.
Cody made it happen. If you don't hear from me, it's Cody. He got me aboard, and I ceased to exist. He
we'll
threw away
decide
my autonomous purple car.
Yeah, we threw. That's gonna be your next live stream. You're gonna be like skating down.
Oh,
you're gonna be actually skating down this boulevard. But yeah. So another cool interaction that I wanted to try to incorporate here was just the transition from this card to this specific product page. So clicking on this actual icon right here to open this card up, if you will. I don't know if that comes through clear on your end, but
no, we got that. That looks beyond fancy. We got all that.
It's a little choppy on my computer just because I have an older Mac, but
see, this is why we need PC. I'm tired of Mac, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you a PC guy?
Well, I wasn't until I got one because I started live streaming. My Mac would blow up if I dare put that car on my Mac. If I even put the city or the music equalizer on there, it would be like
right.
It would follow what's his name? Jobs to his grave.
Oh man, yeah.
That sounds really bad.
But what you mean? I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially just getting like more of like a full screen of this wetsuit and taking that army green color and using it as the main background color. So this is like what's cool about XD is that you can kind of, if you have a crazy idea like this, you can actually prototype it out and see if it works. There's probably a little bit more that I could do to finesse this. It still feels a little bit clunky to me, but I think like the idea is there, like some cool. So basically what's happening is, let me try to break this down. Sorry, my dog Coda's shaking around.
She's fine.
I'm transitioning from this artboard. Let me go to my prototype. You see I'm crazy little wires here. But I have this button right here linking to this artboard. And with that, I have let me see if I can expand this. I have a tap trigger for this button right here. And then an auto animate action. And then my destination is this Vizsla wetsuit front artboard. And then I have a nice little ease and out, and then a duration of 0.8 seconds. That gives it that kind of nice, slow, kind of buttery transition from artboard A to artboard B. And I have, let's see here.
Can we talk about real quick, because I only use Snap. Not only does it sound snazzy, but I feel like it's the only one I can get smooth. When you're using, auto animate, or even there was another portion I wanted to ask. Oh, 2 questions, but we'll ask this first. Do you typically just use ease in and out, or I find that I just stick with one. Do you stick with one and call it a day, or how do you decide?
It depends. It depends. Like, I will use Snap every now and then if it's more of like if I have like a drawer coming out and I kind of want it to have a subtle little kind of a bounce or just a little bit more snappiness, but when I have like a bigger transition from something like this to a more full screen, I want it to not feel like there's any friction there. I want it to just be kind of smooth. So in this case, I thought it was a good idea to use that ease in and out. I'm sure it would look good with a snap as well. I think it might just be personal preference. And also,
Right.
one thing that I like to do to test that is I'll actually open it up on my phone, because XD can pair with your phone. So I'll actually kind of click through and just see if it like translates. It might be that maybe that it looks smooth on my desktop screen here, but when I go to my actual mobile device and click around with it, maybe there's too much of a delay. So it's always kind of a learning process to kind of like fine tune those nuanced interactions. But I am a fan of that snap animation, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I feel like, you know, in the places that I've been in the last couple years, or even the people that I've worked with, they really don't utilize the mobile testing side, or at least the ability to port what you've made in XD to your phone through the app.
Right.
And I think that's a great way of not only testing the prototype you made with somebody in person. It's a little harder today, but
right.
You know, it's good for self-testing. Like, okay, what does this actually look like? And not just like throwing whatever you made in XD and sending that link to your developer and be like, good luck.
Yeah, have fun with it.
I'll see what you build tomorrow.
Yeah, don't ask me any questions about it. No, and to that point, that's a good point. A good thing to do while you're actually prototyping is including those actual. So this is going to be made for iPhone. Is kind of how I built it out. Let me see. And let me go to my layers panel. You can put in these like home indicator and status bars just to see how it lays out with all that, so that you're making sure you're aware of the spacing, because on iPhone you have this little like time and then your Wi-Fi and your battery. Then you also have this notch that everybody knows about. So if I were to move this logo too high up, it would kind of run into that. So
yeah,
same thing with this bottom little, I think that's like the home indicator, where you kind of like swipe up to get back to your apps and all that. You want to make sure that these icons aren't too low. So just things like that. It's like good housekeeping rules and just making sure that everything's kind of got its own clear space. But when I'm working on this stuff, once I figured that out, I'll turn it off because it gets kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. I've not, like I said, I do a lot of copy and paste. Like I grab like especially with like the status bars, or even like where people place their navigations. Usually I don't rip them, but I purchase UI kits where they're already in the same place, and I've gotten asked, do you use something to guide you, especially when you're starting from scratch, to know where to place and where not to place certain things so they can be seen. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
That's a great way to learn.
I'm a copy designer, man. I'm like,
I mean, that's nothing to be ashamed about. I did the same thing. Like the first app I designed, I was taking screenshots of other apps just to kind of get and I would paste it into my design software just to kind of get an idea of like the spacing that other designers are using on successful existing apps. So I think that's a great way to get into it, and you can kind of see what font sizes are. You can see how icons are sized. It doesn't just come from like knowing it right away. I think replicating is a great way to get into it at first. So yeah, good point.
Agreed. This is why we have the master here, Cody himself, and not the copy designer Brandon. Just be like, copy and paste from the UI kit. Just go. You're fine.
Far from it.
Change colors.
But yeah, so on this actual, here, let's go through this flow again. Okay.
Can we go through how you made? First off, this goes into my other questions. Unless you were, what were you about to jump into really quick?
I was just going to show a little bit more of this page. So I made this little color selector. Typically on e-commerce sites, for some reason you always see the color like below the product, but I thought it'd be kind of cool if we put it top left. Again, maybe if we like A/B tested this, maybe people wouldn't like that. This is just kind of like one of those like ideas that look cool, but maybe it's not functional. But I wanted to test it out, so I had this like color selector between the army green and the black. Ooh. So maybe the actual color swaps out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And also in that same vein, like it'd be cool to flip this around to see the back. You know, because if you're trying to buy a wetsuit, you kind of want to see what it looks like from all angles. You see this guy's booty?
He's like, how far is that crease gonna go? You know?
Yeah. You know, it's an important thing, man, because it can get tight down there. So you got to make sure that it's the right fit for you, you know? So you got to get all the angles.
Gotcha.
But this was a little like 3D transform technique right here. I know you've done a little bit of exploration on that on your channels. So that's, we can dive into that a little bit. That's one of the newer features that Adobe XD released. Let me see if I can make my screen fit a little bit better here. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, so if I click on this actual icon right here, and go to prototype, I have it set to an auto animate, ease in, ease out to the next screen. But when I actually animated this, I used this 3D transform. So this little icon up here, this little cube, and just rotated it around like this. So a simple little twirl, you know, just to kind of make it look like it's rotating.
Nice little touch, nice little kiss. You know what I'm saying?
Nice little nice little embellishment there, you know.
Guys, he was like, "What do I do with this button? I know. I'm gonna make it 3D transform."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. That'd be cool to actually have a little Easter egg in this, so that like if you click something. If you're like, oh, this is a super fire wetsuit, like blah blah blah. If you click like the word fire, like it actually explodes, and you're like, what the heck? But
yeah. Or I just come out of the wetsuit, or just like fill it up real quick, or my head pops out, you know. Or maybe
that would be
you.
Amazing. Maybe... No, that'd be amazing if like you
like,
popped
hello.
into place. Yeah.
Oh god.
It'd be great if, like if people don't know who you are and they're just like, who was that guy? Like, why is he in my wetsuit all of a sudden? Yeah. Oh yeah, really quick, I have to give a shout out to my dad. It's his birthday today. I almost forgot. So happy birthday, Dad. Yeah.
What is the father's name?
So the father's name is Tim.
We don't have to
Brown.
do that if you don't want to. I was just.
Oh no, it's funny because my name is Timothy Cody Brown. A lot of people don't know that, but I go by my middle name. Yeah. So my dad is Timothy Paul Brown. So I just have a different middle name, but I've been going by that name since I was a kid. So. Yeah.
Well, oops, I just lost the audio. Hold on 1 second. 2 seconds, guys. I just lost Cody. Well, I lost myself. He's still there. But my headphones, we've been having like headphones battles today. Like we were ready to live stream today, and then all of a sudden my earbuds were like dying. Okay, I think we're back. Sorry.
All good. That's why I go with these wired ones, man. They do the trick. They're
but man, I don't have enough dingles, dongles, and dangles to like. You know?
Right.
I need Wi-Fi straight from the computer. But yes, happy birthday to Timothy, or is it Tom? Sorry.
Timothy's.
All right, that's what I thought. Timothy, Sir Timothy. Yeah, that would get really confusing if me and my father's name were both Brandon. We'd be fighting.
You'd be like a Brandon Jr. at that point, right? Like.
Yeah.
And I think that's why my dad didn't want to have the same exact name, because then I'd be a junior. Not that that's a bad thing. He just didn't want to call me junior.
I would just have inferiority complex the rest of my life. My name's Junior. No, but let's tackle some of these things. I really would love to see how you kind of put together, if we could, the cards. I love the cards. And could you like? First question. Where did you get these PNGs or these assets? Did you cut them out of something? If so, where? Oh, a huge question I always get, and people are scared, like, crapless. They're like, can I post stuff on Behance if I got PNGs from somewhere that is not, like, if they just like grab some stuff from Google and it's just educational purposes? So
yeah, I mean, I think for these wetsuits, this is a brand called Visla that I really enjoy. I use their wetsuits. I have a lot of their apparel. See if you can see this. I went on their website and just, they have some really beautiful product photography. Like they did a really good job with all these images. And so I copied these, and they have a white background on them. Took them into Photoshop and I was able to do the magic wand tool on this one because there's such a clear contrast between the suit and the white background. But if there was like, say, a different kind of color, if there's like texture behind this, I would have to go in with the pen tool and crop it all out. So here I can show you. I have PNGs that I extracted here. And yeah, it's educational purposes. I'm not selling this app. So
Right.
I think it's okay. Hopefully B-Slip doesn't sue me. But
Nobody's gonna, but I think that's the thing. Like, I feel like for whatever reason, people get scared, even with educational things, that they can't post it because they're gonna get slapped with like some litigation. And the thing is like, why would anybody spend time to come after you, even especially when it's for educational purposes? Like, what damages have you done to the company to get slapped with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think as long as you're not making you're keeping their brand in a good light. Obviously, I'm trying to like pay homage to it because I use it. I enjoy the brand. I don't want to say that you can't get in trouble for stuff like this because there's definitely, anything's possible, but more often than not, it's probably okay if you're not making money off it and you're just strictly doing it to learn. And, I think it makes them look cool. Like, I mean, they're already a cool brand. They don't need my help, but I enjoy them. I think they're rad and they're some of the best sweatsuits on the market. So I would say, yeah, I mean, if you're paranoid about it, just maybe message the brand or message somebody at that brand to double check. But I think we're okay, hopefully. But yeah, so I did that. So I basically cropped these all out. I did some of the skateboards too. So this is an Arbor. I used to have some of their skateboards. But yeah, so what I did was I made one card, okay? And I basically duplicated the card. So you can make this a component if you wanted to. So then so if we did that, so let's just make this a component. Let's just put it over here just for an example. This is my master component. So if you see up here, it says component made. I should be able to then move this around and see how it's reflected over here. This is basically the parent component. And this is one of its children. So I can make changes here and it'll affect it everywhere else. So that's a cool trick to kind of save you time as you're building out. Say you have like 200 artboards or something like that. You don't want to have to touch every single card that you make. That'd be really annoying and not practical. So I can even go in here. And like change the background color, then it'll affect it here. So it's working smarter, not harder kind of thing, which I love about it. I didn't make them components in this case because I had specific interactions that sometimes when you're working with components, you have too many moving parts within it. It's just a little bit more difficult with XP. They're getting better at it with new releases. They're making it so that you can package up multiple components within one. But for the sake of this, I was making it kind of quick. I did it this way. Oh, speaking of cards,
most people what?
No, I don't even know what I was going to say, to be honest.
The stream of consciousness was cut off by Brandon's big mouth. Basically, what I was going to add, I think we were literally about to say the same thing, and my brain stole your thought, and it just left me. Hold on. I was going to ask, because I don't use components often, unless like for practice projects, unless I know I'm gonna use that thing again, like somewhere down the line. For speed, I just put stuff together and I just group it and hold Alt and drag it. Are you from the same wheelhouse in that respect?
Oh yeah, that's just how we were trained, man. Like I think that's just such a quick command on your keyboard too, to just Alt drag, boom, 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 or even like in Illustrator, you can Command D and just duplicate stuff. So these new features we're not quite 100% used to, like the repeat grid and things like that. So it does take a little bit of time to adopt and put into your workflow. But I think if you do take the time to learn it, it really does speed up your workflow by a lot. I would say probably like by 60%. It's not always necessary if you're just kind of like, in this case, I was just kind of putting together some quick concepts. So it's kind of up to your own discretion, I guess, to see when or when not to use it. But sometimes you just got to go the old-fashioned route, and use things that are familiar to you. But I think, like for example, one of the newer things that I'm trying to use more is, let me just turn this off, is stacks.
Yeah.
So I did it on this one just to kind of demonstrate. So I have these three text objects grouped, and I have stacks turned on. And so basically what that means is that these are all grouped within the same group, and they have 8 pixel spacing between each other, so that if I say I add something new, or if I want to move, wait, hold on. If I select this and move it up, it'll just kind of plop it into place. And it has that nice 8 pixel spacing no matter what. So maybe the client comes back and they're like, you know what, we want the title to be at the top, we want the brand name to be in the middle, and we want the price to be at the bottom. Well, cool. And if this was a component, it would update on all the other ones too. So that'd be a quick little change. Even though it's coming last minute from the client, boom, you got it in 2 seconds, you know? So little things like that are huge in the grand scheme of things, I think, with prototyping in XD. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so.
Now I have a question because I wanted to, it's been a while since I've been in an agency since some of these really, these really cool features for XDs come out. And like, I would love to know, even, I mean, if there's more about the design you want to jump into, I mean, we can do that too. But I think just for like, I'm going to just say story time, I guess.
Sure.
Oh, I got to recenter you here. Hold on. we pulled you off screen. We have dog cam real quick. Coda was like, what's happening?
Coda.
All right. Let's see. But my question to you was, what is the workflow between you and developers at the moment? I know like the last time I used or worked with like a dev team within Adobe XD, like an actual large scale team, like a lot of things, even like just being able to send the link over to the dev team, or you know what I mean, just like all the things that were in InVision and in different platforms. Like now Adobe XD has all those features like in one. So do you have like a flow or how things run in at your agency at the moment? Could you like break that down, not only just for me, but for there's a lot of people in the audience who are either looking to work for an agency, and I think that kind of breakdown in knowledge from you would be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. So in the past, what we've done is we've shared out a link. So if you go to your share tab up here, this is where anything you want to do to export or share, not export, but just to give a publishable link to people, you would do it here. So in our agency, we'll go to development. So it'll basically create a public link. You can make it public. So right here it says link access. You can say only invited people, anyone with the password. So you can create your own password if you want. Some of the stuff that we work on we're not allowed to share it online. So we'll just provide the XD file because it's some of the brands that we work with have to keep things kind of secret for a while. So in that case, we'll just provide the XD file. We'll send that over to them. But if it's not a private job, we can create one of these links. Let's see if I do that right now. Create this link. And what it's doing is it's packaging up all these artboards and all of the colors, all the icons, everything that lives within this document, and it's sending it out in a link that's accessible to anybody. I don't even think they need to have XD. They just need to have the link. But one important thing to note is if you want something to be downloadable on that link, so let's take a look at that real quick. Because normally in the past, you would have to export every single image for a developer, you know what I mean? And you have to have like a style guide and all of your H1, H2, H3, H1, like basically all your elements. Let's see here. Is that showing up? Okay, cool. So what I can do now is I can come to this little like code view specs tab right here, and I can select items, and see what it does is it gives you an inspection tool that shows you, okay, this is 100 by 100 pixels, this little tile right here. You're even getting the color packs right here. So this is super helpful for a developer because they can go in and extract information from the specs document that I sent over. So this isn't like a traditional prototype link. It's more just like kind of a guide for them to kind of inspect every single element within this. So see, I probably should have made this icon 40 by 40, but it's 41.53. So there's my sloppy design right there, guys. But it allows the developer to have access to every little thing. They can see what font you used, I believe. Yeah, so this is Termina, Adobe font. They can see the size. And what you would want to do is any exportable asset. So in this case, this wetsuit, if I want the developer to be able to have that on hand, if they want to download it, right now, I don't have it set as an exportable asset. So what I need to do is I need to come in here and I need to make sure that it's turned on. So let's just go in here. I need to click mark for export. So now that will go into that link. So let's republish that link. We'll update it. Need some elevator music when this thing's loading. But I'll refresh my link. And it should, if I did this right, it should give me the ability to download it. Hold on, let's make sure we're on the right artboard. Well, XD is not working for me right now. I probably did something wrong.
What it's on, and by the way, you might hear like echoes, guys. We had like my headphones just died. I had to like re-engineer like how the sound is going. So I've been like pausing and playing Cody's mic as we've been talking here. So Cody, you're just gonna have to hear yourself twice.
That's okay.
I'll try to work with it. But go back to XD. I think you actually just did it. If you click on your the wetsuit.
Oh, okay.
And there should be a setting on the right-hand side of your. If you just click the asset, it should have like ability to like export. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I needed the whole card. So let's see. I'm gonna save that. I only did the wetsuit, but maybe the whole card needs to be selected.
Possibly.
Let's re-share that. But when it works, you have the ability. You have all the assets there on the right hand side. So icons, images, all that sort of stuff. So let's just open this link. Maybe that's why. Bookville. Shop. Go to our inspect. Yeah, I don't know. It might have something to do with the components. I'll get back to you on that though, Brandon. I knew there's going to be one thing.
We'll be learning together. I'll take my automatic car home and we will figure this out.
Yeah, we'll look under the hood. But essentially, yeah. So back to the question, you want to be able to give your developers all of these assets within this file. It could just be something going on with XD right now, but or just me not remembering exactly how to do it. But essentially, they have everything they need in that file. I also like to give the XD file to the developers too, because it is a free software that they can go in and poke around and move things around or extract things if they need to.
Yeah.
And then also something that I like to do as well. You can kind of see it in my document here. If they are getting the XD file, I like to put these kind of labels at the top of my artboards, just because like we have these flows, but I like to have just kind of a cool branded version of that. It just kind of, for me, it's a habit that I built into working in XD. And it's easier to navigate your document, I guess, in that regard. So I'll do that. A lot of times I'll build out some of the main colors like this in a more like prettier fashion. I'll even, in my, let's see here, in my character styles, I'll have them here in the left panel here, but I'll also kind of go in and then just like write them out. So it's like H1. We don't want to 3D transform that. the side.
Oh,
What's
it's
happening?
good. It's the fact that XD is like, listen, do you really want to mess up the coffee? Do you really want to mess up the slide with all those delicious colors?
Oh, it's at 100
How
points.
can we? I look like a pumpkin. There's this one hair that will not go down, and I've been trying to push it down like to the side this entire time, and it's not okay. We got it. All right.
You pull it off though, man. There we go. It's because my text was like 100 point size.
Got you.
But so what I'll do is like I'll come in here and go like H1, headline, or whatever, and I'll actually go in and just like build these all out so that they can see. And what's cool is like once you've already built your styles in here, I can select my text and then just like click it and it'll change it.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, you got it. No, we were about to say the same thing. Go ahead.
It's just a good practice to have, like, if you're thinking about your design as like a system, it makes it a lot easier for other designers to jump in and then say like you have to pass it off to somebody else. They can hit the ground running because they have this, source of truth with all these different elements. You've got your colors, your font types, your icons. You have basically like a brand guide for them to reference, and it's built into XD. But I also like to put it, if I have the time, I like to put it in one of the artboards too, just kind of like how I like to make these old titles. It's just a personal preference sort of thing, you know?
Definitely. I think that's like just well organized, good organization, especially when you're talking and working with other people outside of just yourself, like making sure that when you open up somebody else's file, you know where they started, maybe what their thoughts were. So let me ask you this, even in your company projects, do you still kind of have the same setup with, your color palettes, your, what typography that you have laid out, your H1, your H2, your paragraph, your subtitles, all those to some degree somewhere in there. So if you were to hand something off, they have all that thinking in the document in addition to your prototypes. Is that?
Absolutely. So here's we worked on this awesome website for this robot vacuum company called Nito. They make amazing smart vacuums. So like I have one right now that goes around my house and cleans up for me, especially with like Coda. Like he's got a lot of dog hair, so he'll go up. I actually named my vacuum Coda as well. So I got 2 Codas in the house. But so we built out this site in XD actually, and same thing. We actually had an XD file with all of our artboards, all of our color palette, our H1s, our buttons. We have these kind of cool cover effects for the buttons. So like that's all built in with components in the XD file. So this is at EFM, Experiences for Mankind. We did this. And the entire site has all the style. It's kind of built in. I'm trying to see if I can go to like the products category page. Shop all products.
Someone, our man Wemo in the chat is like, I have a Nito. He's like, that is the best vacuum.
Dude, Nitos are great, man. I wasn't like too familiar with the robot vacuum world until coming across Nito, but they're such an awesome company, and they actually just came out with a new line of vacuums as well. But so like all these like cards we built in XD have these hover effects, and we gave the developers the XD file. We gave them the developer link with downloadable assets. So they had everything they needed to kind of go in and build this out. And sure, there was some back and forth with like certain questions about some of the more detailed interactions. Like we did this this Find Your Nito page, which is pretty cool. It's sort of like an interactive quiz that if you don't know which robot vacuum you need or want, you can go in here and just kind of select these different options.
I want to see the multi-story home. Does it fly? How does it work?
Multi-story home? It's basically, like if you live in like a condo or something like that, that's got like, oh no, it doesn't go upstairs if that's
Oh, I was like, I need that.
It's got a little drone.
Nito, go upstairs. I'm done with you. Go clean the dust up there.
Yeah, no, that'd be interesting to see. Maybe in the future we'll get some of those. But like, even that little. Go ahead, yeah.
this is so far left. I don't know which way we better turn. But have you seen the new flying surveillance cameras you can buy for your home?
No,
They're
this is real.
feel like they're by Amazon.
That's amazing.
I mean, we don't have to go far tangent, but let me see. Flying, because
I'm
I
all
was
about
like,
the
that's
tangents.
just because we were on the topic of a potential flying vacuum, I was like, is everything going to fly now? Is my coffee maker going to fly? Like, what's going to happen?
Getting real Black Mirror real quick. You know what I mean?
Oh
This
yeah,
could be the
I was
real
like,
future.
this is George Orwell today.
Yeah. I mean, nothing will surprise me anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a crazy year, but we can still make cool stuff. That's the way I see it.
Indeed. All right, man. Well, I want to be very conscious of your time. I know you got to go back and do your thing, but is there any? We have 2 minutes, and
Are there any questions that came through that people have?
well, here's the thing. For some reason, we got. Oh, we're still on. Okay, we just got back on Adobe Live, but there is an issue with Behance chat, and really only people can chat on whatchamacallit, on YouTube. I have not seen any question, guys. If you have questions, both on Behance, because I know we just popped back onto Adobe Live. If you guys have any questions in regards to anything related to UI, UX, process, anything that Cody really talked about today, or anything that has to do with like agency life, what have you, or even what it's like to have a dog or having 2 coders in the house, drop your questions down below, because we are towards the end of our session here. I do apologize for those of you guys who are on Behance who are incapable of seeing the chat for some reason. That's odd. I have to bring that up to the team. That shouldn't be happening. But in closing, man, like, while we're waiting for some questions to come in, let's do this. If you were to give some tidbit of advice to your younger self, or whether it's to subside some anxiety that you held while you were traversing and trying to build your craft, or
Traversing,
it doesn't
great
have
word,
to
by the
be
way.
UI UX skill related. It could be anything related to something that you might have needed to hear when you were younger that either caused you anxiety or that would have helped you better in learning something. What would you share with yourself?
That's a great question, man. Putting me on the spot here. I would say, like, if you're passionate about something, like, follow that. So when I was younger, I was always drawing cartoons and doodling, and I always thought that maybe that was just a silly thing, that was never gonna turn into anything, or actually become like a job or career that I would be in. But I always trusted that gut feeling of pursuing it, and I knew that it was probably going to be a long road to be able to make money doing that, or find exactly that little, because I didn't know I was going to do UI design or animation or any of that sort of stuff. I knew that I wanted to be creative, and I wanted to share my work with other people. That's always something that's been true to me. And so I think that whatever that, like, ambition or feeling or passion that is inside of you, whether that's becoming an athlete, or becoming a salesperson, or becoming a YouTuber, whatever it is, even if it seems like it's going to be a lot of work and it's going to be kind of far off, like, just follow that gut feeling, and be patient, because it doesn't happen overnight. You just need to keep attacking at that goal every single day, and slowly you'll start to see the rewards happening, and they'll just start kind of compounding on top of each other. So I just say, stick with it, and trust your intuition, trust your gut.
I love it. Stick with it, one day at a time, guys. And this is my final question, because you gave that answer. Did you think that, and if you guys don't know, Cody has an amazing YouTube channel as well. He's got you're reaching 30,000. Basically, you had 30,000, an audience of 30,000.
It's weird.
He does amazing videos on anything UI, UX, his journey. Really relaxed dude, man. You will definitely, I think we were talking about this a little bit. Whatever microphone you have, I need to invest in. Because it's basically ASM. I think it's ASM. I don't know. I'm about to spell
This
it like
is a
the wrong
Samsung.
word.
This is a Samsung G-Track Pro. It's pretty good. But I want to get the boom mic like you were talking about.
Yeah, something that's like not in the shot. That's just like just aim at my mouth. Just hear me.
Right.
But my question, backing out of the silliness, did you imagine that you would have 30,000 an audience of 30,000? I know that's something
Oh,
that
no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you watch my very first YouTube video, it was probably 3 years ago, and my buddy John's in the video, and I have like no mic. It's really bad. It's just a camera, and he jumps into the video, and like we're being silly. Like it was just a way for me to have fun and practice articulating my thoughts and becoming a better speaker, because I feel like I still have work to do in that regard. And I also just wanted to share like any little bit of knowledge that I've gathered over the years in my career, just with anybody, because we have the internet now. It's like, why not? You know what I mean? And when I was early in my career, the only people I could really learn from were the people that I worked with, and then some of the teachers from school, which were great. But now that we have all this technology, it's like there's so much capabilities and potential. So it's kind of silly to not share what we know. And that's why I admire your work, man, because every day you're pushing out content that hundreds of thousands of people probably see, because it gets spread around. And if you've got a positive message, you're very entertaining, you put a lot of work into it. And so that inspires me, my friend. So I foresee you getting more subscribers than me in like a year, probably. So, and it's not even about that. It's about just getting the message out, you know, and I respect that.
Definitely. YouTube is another beast. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Instagram is I feel like it doesn't take that much. It takes a different type of dedication. It's a lot easier to automate. Or at least I built a system where, it was automated over a long period of time. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Like, that's the thing. Going back to what you're saying, like, we have the internet. There's so many ways that we can get exposed to what we want to become, which is amazing. Like, I was talking to my parents, and I would, sometimes I'm like, how do you got? It goes both ways. They're like, Brandon, how do you not know like what your street name is outside of your house? Which I really don't. That's a problem. I literally ask Siri where my family lives. I have them documented. The only phone number I know is mine.
Sure.
But the thing is like, back in the day, you had to read a book to be exposed, or at least walk somewhere to get access to books. Like, knowledge wasn't free spread, or even access to an example was challenging. You had to have somebody in your family, someone you were exposed to. So now, with the internet, with people who are sharing their story like you, people can look up to that and be like, yo, my man's got bodysuits for he not snowboards. He boards. He's out there in the ocean. The man can swim. I don't know what the things are that people look. I know there's like a common tongue among people who do those things,
right,
and are excited about those things. But
you touch on a good point, man. Like, we grew up without this stuff, so we can appreciate having it now. So it's almost like it's our responsibility, like our duty as creators to push this content out and hopefully inspire people, hopefully kickstart some creativity, and ultimately just be a mouthpiece for good design and creativity, and that's what I'm here to do. So
for sure. All right, man. Well, where can we find you? What is the one place that you would like people to continue to follow your journey?
If you like my content, if you're into it, Mr. Cody Brown on Instagram is one place to find me, and then on my YouTube channel, I think it's also Mr. Cody Brown. Cool, yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Likewise, man. Hopefully there's a lot more. Hopefully next time we can do a collaborative piece. We'll think about it. But thank you so much, Cody. Definitely. If you guys want to follow more of Cody, all his links are down below. His website, his YouTube, his Instagram. But like he said, if you really want to get into what he's got, YouTube and Instagram. All right, my friend. Have a great day. I'm super excited for the next one, and I guess we'll talk later.
Happy Friday.
Right, guys.
Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching.
See you guys on the next one, and talk to you soon. Thank you, Cody. Peace. So, you want to be one of the hottest creative designers in the world. You want to build your talent, your skills through hard work, and more importantly, surround yourself with a team of individuals who are striving towards greatness with you. And yet you sit there and you ask yourself internally, Brandon, does a place like this exist? And my answer to you would be, of course, motherfucker, that's exactly what we are doing in our Discord. We are the Game Changer. We are a group of designers, artists, creatives that want to take our skill sets, talents, and dreams to the next level. We come together to give feedback on each other's work, give resources, and laugh, a lot of it. And help push each other to be our best selves. If you're interested in becoming the next best you and quite possibly yourself while chatting with many friends, join your new design family today. See you there.